All right, everybody. It is Tuesday night, and we out here having a couple beers, or at least I am. But we're out here with Trey from Set Adrift. Got to see them online on Instagram. Love their stuff. That melodic hardcore, man. I see that's coming back. It's coming back,
Man,
baby.
it's come back. We are back.
I love it, man. I've seen a couple bands out here, kind of that 2000s feel, and it's great to see it coming back again. But yeah, Set Adrift, and you are from Dallas, Texas. So just give us a little intro about yourself.
Yeah. So we started back in, I think officially 2023. I'd been working on music for a long time, and I've been in other bands. Like I play in another one that's pretty active. That's more like on the metalcore side. But this was always like my baby that I wanted to do because that 2015 like 100th Counterparts, Casey, like all those bands, like those were kind of the ones that I was like, yeah, I want to do that. And so we've been working, myself and our drummer Andrew and Taylor, our bass player, were like the original three, and we started writing songs and jamming stuff and kind of just getting the chemistry together. Our other guitar player Jacob played in a bunch of other bands, and we just kind of poached him. And he's a wizard, so he's a way better guitar player than I am. So I just like kind of I put it all together and then send it to him, and I'm like, hey, what do you think? And he's like, oh, this is rad. Can I do this? I'm like, yes, you can absolutely do that.
It's real
Uh,
cool, but let me show you what would be even cooler.
yeah. It's like, oh, you take the melodies that I have and you make it sound like an actual guitar player wrote them. That's sick.
Yeah, there you go. Teamwork.
Yeah. So we just been playing. We put out a record last year. That was our debut one that we kind of released incrementally, via singles, because that's what you got to do these days to feed the machine a little bit and kind of get visible. But we got that out. Play regionally a fair amount. We try and play like at least once a month, and it kind of been expanding out farther and farther. We're all in our 30s, so we don't want to like we want to work smarter, not harder. We don't want to road dog it and be doing a bunch of stuff, but we like having fun. We like playing shows, and that's part of the melodic hardcore thing is being in the community, playing shows, getting in the crowd and having a good time. So that's been kind of the MO this whole time.
Yeah, I would say melodic hardcore is probably like up there with my favorite genres of music, man. Love metal. I'm a metalhead. Love it. Like, I
Yeah.
love the hardcore stuff, the wild shit. But man, when you have like that melody to it, it's just that much more powerful to me. I did see. I think the first video I saw is where y'all are like in the woods,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and I was just like, man, that just like captivated me. I was just like, oh, I like that. It had a groove to it. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I got to interview these motherfuckers, man. I gotta talk to them. And luckily, y'all reached out right away, so that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. What are some bands that would say for your like as for yourself and as the band that would be some like major influences that help you create music? Like,
Gosh, I mean, that's always, it's always a fun question, and it's like the one that you're always like thinking about, like, if somebody ever asks me, these are the ones that I'm gonna say. And there's always like the slightly performative, like, well, obviously I grew up on Shai Hulud. Like, no, I didn't. I wish I did, but I came from like death metal and stuff like that, so all the bands that I like grew up listening to were going from what my parents showed me to finding my own identity in like technical death metal like Obscura and like the Gothenburg stuff like At the Gates and In Flames, and then kind of getting into more of the hardcore side and melodic hardcore. I think the first band that I listened to that would be probably more in our genre would be like No Bragging Rights, uh
okay,
maybe the Ghost Inside, stuff like that.
oh
But
man, I really love the Ghost Inside.
they're so good, and I love that they like they had that. Oh, I don't love that they had the accident, but like they've always been like a super inspirational band, and I love that they like practiced what they preached and were like the definition of positivity and like we're gonna get through this and everything. So that was really cool. But for this specific project, I would say, it's Casey is a huge influence of mine, and the Elijah, which that scene, with like Crooks UK, um, a lot of UK kind of bands, and then the Southern California melodic hardcore thing like No Bragging Rights and Beings in Ocean. They're a huge one for me.
Mm.
Um, Gosh. Oh, Old Hundredth, like that was probably the one that I was like, I could do this. Like I think I think I could do this. This is really sick. And it was kind of one of the first ones that resonated with me. And Counterparts and Misery Signals are two of my favorite bands like ever.
Yeah.
I
Also another tragedy, Misery Signals. Jesus.
Dude, for sure. Like they never, I don't think they ever got the recognition that they deserved. I mean, they've done a lot, and I've been really, really fortunate to be able to talk to and kind of get to know a couple of those guys, and they're all super nice, but they never quite, for how influential they are, I feel like they never quite got above the level that I don't know.
I hear no. Misery Signals is definitely one of my favorite bands. Like right out of high school, like in those, and then what was it like? Oh, 03, 02, 03 ish. I
Mhm.
think it was around that era. And man, it sucked when that tragedy happened. And they came back, and they made that. Was it the day summer ended in June? I
Yep.
think it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it
yeah.
was such a sick song. It was like, oh my god, I loved it, and just the meaning behind it and everything.
Mhm.
It just made it that much better. But yeah, Misery Signal is definitely one of the top ones. And the Ghost Inside, man, that just makes me want to work out, bro.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it, I'm like, fuck it, give me a jump rope or a punching bag. It just hypes me up, man. It just gets me there. Um, so what are some bands that you have y'all played with? Have y'all played with any big bands out there?
Um, not like not anything super out of our area. The majority of the ones that we've gotten to play with have been, either homies from other parts of the country, like we played with Ghost Chant, which are up in New York. Really, really cool band, kind of in the same
Hmm.
vein. Um, Gosh, it's like I've forgotten every show we've ever played. Uh,
Have y'all toured outside of Texas?
we did a small, I think it would be considered more of like a weekender, up
Okay.
through Arkansas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma, which, if you're familiar with,
Yeah.
the North Texas area, it's just kind of the outer corridor around us. But we did a South Texas run, and hit, San Antonio. Oh gosh, it was like San Antonio, Austin, Houston, and Beaumont.
Okay.
Uh, we've played, like Longview and Tyler, and like gone east a couple times. Those towns are always super super great to us. Like there's a skate shop out in Longview called Ollie's that like is always just packed, and the kids are stoked to be there, and we're stoked to be there. It's just a great. It's what you think of when you think of like a hardcore show in a skate shop.
Yeah, that just sounds amazing. I
Yeah.
haven't heard of that one, but that's what I was asking. What's your favorite place right now? That is it? Would they be Longview or the skate shop that you like playing at?
I would say that's probably my favorite in terms of experience and kind of communal element. There's bigger stages that we played that I liked. We played Trees in Dallas, which was super cool. We were really, really lucky that our first show was up there. We've had a lot of cool people like really believe in us and give us some opportunities, so that's been awesome. But it's hard to pick like a singular thing, because I feel like a lot of those things are moments in time, right?
Mm.
Like if we go back and play Ollie's next week, it's not going to feel exactly the same that it did that first time we were there. Um, and so like that's kind of like a special thing that we got to experience. So yeah, I would say the best shows that I've enjoyed were there and in Tyler. Uh, we played a brewery, that I don't think's doing shows anymore, and then the Beaumont show was just insane. Like that was
Oh
like
yeah.
a kind of a last minute throw together. We were on the road with our friends in Margins, and we got there and they were like, no, 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 trust us. Like, this is going to be sick. We're like, all right, dude, it's Beaumont. Like, I don't know. Like, and it was, in fact, like the sickest show of the entire little run that we did. And, when the energy's there, like we could be playing in a garage, but if the energy's there, that's what's cool.
You are the guitar player, you said?
Yeah. So I play guitar and do clean vocals and some of the backing, like screams and stuff.
And how long have you said you've been together? I'm sorry.
So we put out our first two singles in 2023, but I've been working on writing all of this since 2017, and I think Andrew and Taylor and I kind of really started taking it seriously as an actual group in 2019. But then the pandemic happened, so we were good to go 2019, ready to start working on stuff, had started recording, and then everything kind of fell apart. So we just kind of hung on and put everything on hold while the world was on hold, and then came back out of it. And we were like, you know what, we're gonna come out swinging and just hope for the best. So
Yeah, I know it's crazy how every time I talk to somebody, it's always something good or bad, right? Like, oh, when the pandemic happened, that's when I started to do comedy, or
yeah,
I started to pick up an instrument, or when the pandemic happened, that stopped us from doing something. It's like, damn, that's always like that pivotal point for everybody. And it could be positive or negative, but yeah, the world did stop for a while and it sucked. It was the worst. What would be one of the worst shows? You don't have to say the place, but like in terms of atmosphere, I mean, just nobody was digging it. What's one of your worst shows?
I mean, gosh,
Have you had pretty good?
we've been very, very lucky that most of the shows we played have been great. I mean, there's probably two that stick out that I'm like, if I was to do that again, or if I was to be asked to do that again, I think I would say no. One was just like, it was more of an environmental thing. Like, it was middle of summer outside, like, you know, by the water. So it was just like, we were just gross the whole time. And,
Mosquitoes everywhere.
yeah, no, it was awful. And it just kind of didn't live up to the expectation that like we were told, and nobody really seemed to care that we were there. And so we were just kind of like, what are we doing? Why? Like, we drove a long way for this. I feel like that was part of it too. Is like, if it had been like a local thing that had flopped like that, we'd have been like, oh well, like we'll get them next time. But this was like I think we drove, oh gosh, at least 6 hours to be there, and we're like, yeah, this is not it. And Dallas is hit or miss. I like living here in DFW, but like, if I had my choice to play anywhere in the Metroplex, it would be in Denton, because Denton's got like the coolest scene. They've got the coolest people. Unfortunately, a lot of the venues didn't survive COVID, so there's only really one that's doing heavier shows, and it's just hard to get into because it's the
Oh
only
wow,
one.
that's
Um,
crazy. Then I never would have thought of that place
yeah,
as the place to go. Yeah, I know, because San Antonio used to be huge in the metal scene when I was growing
mm,
up, and it just kind of, it's just gone a little more downhill.
yeah,
And Austin is still Austin, but it's more just music, all music in general. But
right.
they do have their venues for sure.
Mhm.
And Dallas, I never really messed with Dallas too much in the metal scene, man. I haven't been there. I've been to a couple shows, but they've been like big headline, like huge shows.
Yeah,
I haven't been to the scene out there. How is the metal scene in Dallas right now?
I mean, gosh, without getting myself in trouble,
It's shit. No, you're just fucking.
it's challenging. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of bands. There's a lot of opportunity, and it's definitely better for like, if you're a national band, because it's a hub. But even some of my friends that play in national bands are like, yeah, Dallas is like the only date that doesn't sell out, because there's just so much happening any night of the week, that so much of everyone's attention is spread out or across a bunch of different things. So, getting people to come out to shows is hard, because there's so many options, and because like traffic's the worst. And I mean, being in San Antonio, I'm sure you know that part. Like, the just getting people out of the house is hard enough, and then if they get there, most of the venues are in an area of town where it's like not super safe,
Mm,
and so like kids aren't there. Like they're not like coming out to shows and hanging out and having fun. Like that's part of why Denton's so good. This is a college town and it's safer, it's quieter, and so like parents will just drop their kids off like we used to, do when we were kids going to shows, that it was a safe place and you could just kind of be there without worrying about like Deep Ellum, somebody's getting shot, every couple weeks, and it's just not a safe place to like walk around, much less like drop your kids off and hang out at a hardcore show.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, a lot of the major cities have just become hubs for that shit, man.
Yeah.
It's been crap here too. San Antonio's gotten so huge. It's gotten a lot bigger. It's not like as big as Dallas Fort Worth, but still just and compared to when I was growing up here, it's gotten a lot bigger. And yeah, we have some venues. We have some here and there. I remember back when I was younger, it just seemed like a lot better, the scene. But it's still popping out here, so that's still good. When's the last time you were in San Antonio doing a show?
It was during our run with Margins, so that would have been I was last year, I think. Uh, well, yeah, it was last summer. Um, and so we played. Oh gosh, um, what was the name of that venue? It was right by like a
Downtown?
no. It was kind of off away from everything.
I did
Uh,
like Paper Tiger.
no, it wasn't Paper Tiger. That's the one that like I think we were trying to get into, and we just couldn't make the dates work. So it was a little bit
Oh,
smaller than Paper Tiger. Um, Gosh,
yeah,
I
they
can't
have
remember
one.
the
It's
name.
a little outside of downtown. With Vibes. I think they call it Vibes, and
I don't know.
it's something like yeah. I since I've been back, I haven't been to that many shows like the underground show. I've been to a couple, but I know that place they changed their name quite a bit, but it's still like it's been that venue for a while. Hopefully you make it down here again, man. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, no, we want to get back down and kind of get back into the swing of things. We've been kind of slowly working on replacing our vocalist, our main vocalist. So that's kind of put a halt on like booking out things and being aggressive about like getting shows and getting outside of DFW, but it's definitely in the cards. Like we want to give it. We never want to play a city and have it go poorly, and then just go like, oh well, yeah, we'll never play there again. Like, and
Yeah.
plenty of people in San Antonio are like, yeah, like please come back. So we for sure are wanting to come back down there.
How does the writing process go with you guys? Like, do all y'all participate in the lyrics and everything, or you kind of like you do your part, you do my part, and y'all just collaborate together at the end?
It depends. I mean, so because of it being just like three of us for a long time, I had kind of had everything written on my own, and I play enough of every instrument that I'm able to at least write for it and not like, give our drummer a part that's, absolutely ridiculous that no human could play. Um, so I typically will like write the skeleton of the song and all the parts so that when I send them like a demo or something, they can hear kind of what I'm going for, and then they kind of edit it and make it their version. And then lyrically, most of it's been me. Our old vocalist did a few of the songs on the first record, and kind of like would help like that part was a little more collaborative in the studio where he's doing the performance, and so he'd be like, this word makes more sense here, or let's try this or do something like that. But there were probably less edits with lyrics and vocals than there were with the other parts.
I did read the lyrics for Revenge. I believe it's Revenge, right?
Regret.
Regret. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Regret. I knew it was
Yeah.
with an R. Yeah, those were some. I really enjoyed them. I was like, oh shit, they sound. I mean, I read them, kind of analyzing them a little bit. I was like, damn, it was pretty deep, and I liked it a lot, and I liked the song a lot. It was really good. Did you write those lyrics?
Yeah, I did.
And what was the inspiration behind those lyrics?
So regret, love and regret, because I kind of wrote everything in twos for the first record. So each song kind of had a companion song, and love and regret were essentially about the experience that I know I've had before of to throw yourself into something completely, um, comes with risk, and having that risk not necessarily pay off, in a lot of situations, especially interpersonally and with relationships. And so it's like kind of like I'm glad I did it, but it still really sucks, at times. And that's probably an oversimplification, but
Oh no,
I
that
think,
that explains it all.
yeah, like that was essentially the concept was like, the name of the record, To Love Is to Regret. Um, that's kind of that's how I felt for a long time about things, was like to open yourself up to that, to the positive, is also to open yourself up to the negative, and you just kind of have to take the gamble, and or don't, depending on what your situation is.
Yeah, I definitely got that impression of it, and I was like, I want to ask him about it because I did enjoy the song and the lyrics and everything else, and I was like, yeah, you could tell because everybody can relate to that. Like every man's been heartbroken, like
Yeah.
there's not nobody in this earth that's like, oh, I've never been heartbroken. So those are like lyrics like you could tell right away, like yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
we've all been in that situation.
If I'm sad in my lyrics, I don't have to be sad day to day,
Yeah, and it's a way of it's therapeutic. Like
Right.
a lot of times it's you write it down, you release it out, and you're just like, all right, I'm good. And it's like what you said now, and that's how you know you got over it when you say like I'm glad I went through it though,
Yeah. Yeah.
because when you're going through it, you're not glad you went through it. You're like regretting every decision you made.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was really interesting. I really liked that one. And your new album, how many songs do you have in your new album?
So we've released 2 singles. I want to say total it's going to have 10 or 12. I hate odd numbers, but I can't remember if we did 10 total or 12. Um, but it's just kind of, it's a little bit different, like I wrote it a little more condensed than I did the first one, because it was stretched out over a long period of time, and this one was kind of like okay, like we have the record out, like we need more music, like let's get to doing the demos and put stuff out. And I'd kind of been playing with some ideas, but I had intentionally not really, you know took them into any conclusion. And so I wrote it a little more, like I said, condensed, where I was kind of putting a little bit more pressure on myself to put something together and not just nitpick it to death for years. um, and it was funny because we were putting everything together and deciding what songs we wanted to use. And Jacob, our other guitar player, was like, I have a song, like, can I show it to you? And it was what ended up becoming Disappear. And we're all just like, yes, we can absolutely use that. And that was one that he pretty much just had fully formed, and was like, he didn't have lyrics for it, but he was like, yeah, I think it's pretty good. And we're like, yeah, dude, it's good, so we're gonna run with this now.
Yeah, Disappear is really good, and I for people that don't know, they could definitely find your stuff on Spotify. That's where I was listening to it. I listened to all your songs today, so I went through the whole list from I believe 2024. It was your first one, right? I think the singles would be Disappear, and what was the other one? It was something like
Alchemy is the other new one.
Oh, okay, that was it. Okay, yeah, I listened to those two, and they're really good, man. They're really well done. I love the rhythm of it, the melodic, like I said, just everything about it. Especially that I think it's Disappear. The way y'all just started off, it
Yeah.
just like it just grabs you, like, ooh, okay, this is gonna be a good one. Because
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, man. I know like the first. It's stupid, but there's some songs like the first 10 seconds I could tell, or 5 seconds I could tell you, like, okay, I'm gonna like this bitch. Like,
Right, right.
it's gonna be a banger. Or I could
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Or there's even some, I'm not gonna lie, I've had some where I'm like, this is starting off good, and then they start talking. I mean, they start singing. I'm like, oh, that didn't go the direction I thought it would.
Dude, that's been the TikTok issue with me. I was like, I'll hear a clip or something on TikTok. I'm like, oh, this song's
Yes.
awesome. And then I listen to the rest of the song. I'm like, oh no,
I know, no, that was
this is
shit.
not this is not as good as that clip was.
Yeah, I've had a few of those, and you hear like that intro riff, man, and you're like, ooh, and then like, right when they start talking, you're like, oh, like, God, that was a bummer. Like I was
Yeah.
excited for a while, but yeah, but definitely, people need to go check that out. And what are some major bands in Dallas right now that you say that you're working with, or just that out there?
Yeah, so we're actually playing a festival at the end of this month called Moonfest
I saw
with our
that.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our friends in Moonstone, they're it's kind of alt pop stuff, and they played like our very first show, and it oddly enough, like their fans and our fans have a lot of crossover. And so like for a while, it was kind of the running joke that was Set Adrift for the girls. Because it was just there was so much crossover, and we'd be playing, and like all of them would just be like down like right there in front, and it was so cool. So playing with them, with Hope Intact, they're really really cool metalcore, kind of modern metalcore, like era kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Our friend Alexis fronts that, and she's a great front woman vocalist. I mean, there's so many. Our friends in Adorn, they're kind of like if you like older Thrice
Oh
or
yeah, Older Thrice
stuff
is
like
great.
that, like they're like that's the vibes. Like the older Thrice and Saosin kind of stuff is super super cool. Um, Gosh, I know I'm gonna forget somebody, and I'm
Ah,
gonna get an angry text message like,
I know you
"Oh,
didn't even
oh,
talk about me,
thanks,
you asshole.
oh, thanks, man." But there, it is cool that like even though the DFW scene is challenging, we have kind of found a niche with like-minded people that are really cool, that are good hangs. Oh, Fever Cult, that's the other one that I was like, oh, I love those guys because I'm super big into like whatever you would call the corner of pop that like the 1975 is, that kind of like 80s new wave thing.
Oh,
uh
okay.
Fever Cult like has elements of that with like the shoegaze grunge thing, like just super cool. Everybody in that band is way too talented. um Bigger bands that have come out of the area, a lot of them get big and then they leave, so there's not a
Mm.
lot of like hang time for bands uh, that I would consider like significantly bigger.
Oh, okay. And what would be like more your demographic? Do you have a lot of female fans? You said, or are they, or it's just a joke? Like what
I
is it
mean,
like?
no, I mean, like I think locally, like within our friend group, we do. I know it's weird too, because like if I'm looking at demographic metrics, like for Spotify or TikTok or anything like that, like the demographic spread is pretty wide. Like on Spotify, our demographic is predominantly male. Um, but on TikTok, it's like 60-40, you know, girls to guys. Um, Instagram, I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. So a little bit all over the place, which I kind of think is cool because I want to appeal to everybody. Like we didn't necessarily set out with like, it feels weird to be like, yeah, look, we were looking at this demo for this particular song or something. Like I look at the metrics because I also run like the business side, but I'm never making creative decisions based on, well, I really want to reach these people. Like yes, I would obviously love for more people to come to shows and hang out and throw down and buy our shirts and stuff like that. But I also kind of want that to happen organically. So it's pretty widespread right now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, then that's definitely. I don't think anybody really goes into. Yeah, I'm shooting for this because like we didn't either, but we're
Mm.
like a bunch of dudes that just drink and talk shit and like what we do. I don't know if you've seen any of our videos, but we have females. We like a lot of female comics and stuff too. But yeah, our demographic's a lot of more male
Yeah.
oriented. And but I also take care of that side of it, and I'll look into it, and I'm like, oh, I guess that's our group of people right now.
Right.
But definitely, yeah, I don't really shoot for that. Like, oh, I'm only this for the fucking dudes, bro. Like,
No,
I
no.
never really cared for that.
Yeah.
There's a couple. I've been trying to get a couple like even female kind of metal bands and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely want to go out there and do that. But when you go, would you say it's more like teenagers or young adults or like what's like the group? Young kids are totally into 90s and 2000s stuff now, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy that just came back the way it did, and I guess a lot of it does have to do with TikTok, because
Yeah.
they put a song on there, and then they're like, "What's that song?" And then by the time you know
Yeah.
it, I even had my nephew one time came up to me and he goes, "Hey, let me show you this song." and it's fucking stupid. But he shows me Deftones, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, really? I was like, bro, I had a Deftones tattoo, and I was like 17, you know, and I was like, what are
Yeah.
you like? Come on, dude. I just fucking with him. I was like, I was listening to this shit when your dad was banging your mom, you know, like, what are you talking about?
Dude,
He's like,
they're bigger than they've ever been. That's
yeah,
which
they're
is crazy.
huge
Like
because of TikTok.
yeah, like I mean, I would say our like who's there just depends on where we're playing. Like if we're playing Denton, it's mostly kids, like college age, maybe a little bit younger, um, and obviously like our friends and stuff, you know, kind of in their 30s. If we're playing Dallas, it's predominantly older. Anytime we leave DFW, it's usually younger, which is rad because the kids are the ones that are throwing down and getting in the pit and jumping around and having a good time. You know, in Dallas, you get a lot of this in the back.
Oh,
You're just
really?
like, yeah, it's
Fucking
you
lean
know,
like a cholo.
lot of cool guy club, you know, in Dallas, and you know, I've talked to a couple of my friends, and they're just like, dude, I'm just tired. I'm like, yeah, I get it. If we're roughly the same age, like I don't know that I would be jumping around as much, you know, if I was in the crowd either. So I totally get it. It's a bummer sometimes though when you're like you're really feeling it and you look out and everybody's just kind of like,
Having the time of my fucking life right now,
yeah,
bro.
no, and I get that too. And they're just like, yeah, dude, that was an awesome show. Like I couldn't tell. Like,
I couldn't even tell that were having a good time, much less an awesome time.
yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, I'm 43. I was always in the scene. I used to, I used to do a metal show for College Station out here. And, yeah, you know, the older I get, the less time I spend going all crazy in the pit. But
Right.
I still will go in and I still would like be headbanging, you know. I won't just
Yeah.
be, you know, like I'm in my prison fucking cholo stance, you know. But
Yeah, I just pick my battles now. That's all it is. I'm like, oh, this song I gotta go in for that one. Like, and I go into the show
exactly.
knowing like, you know, Counterparts plays choke. I gotta go in. But for the most part, I'm also still just kind of like in the back, like, yeah, this is rad.
Yeah, and I always tell myself that I'm gonna just do this one song, and then by the time I know it, I'm walking back, and they play another one. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go back in,
Yeah,
and it just gets back and forth. But I would say, especially the older you get, it's the drinking, man, because you're like, I'm gonna go get a beer, like fuck this,
yeah,
you know? I'm gonna go get a beer, relax. I don't know if you drink or not, but
yeah.
you know, like, oh, okay. So for me, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go get a brew and you know, relax for a few songs and talk to my friends and like listen to it. But I don't know, I'm one of those people too. I'm still getting down in there every now and then. I just don't care. When did you start playing guitar?
So I started when I was 16.
Oh, okay.
So you know, not like my entire life, but a decent amount of time, and I just wanted to play because my friends played. I wasn't necessarily looking to make it into a you know career long time thing. I just wanted to be able to hang with my friends after school, and they all played. So I was like, well, that'll be fun, and then I just kind of fell in love with it.
What was the first song you learned?
Glycerin by Bush.
Nice. Yeah, that's a really easy song too. I
Yeah,
think
that
my
super easy.
yeah, I remember when I first learned it, I was so happy. Because I think my first song I learned, I know my first song, but it was a Knife Party by Deftones. So
Oh yeah,
I started in like when did that come out? 99? Yeah, so I was like 16 as well. And and I was and that's also another easy song. And that's one thing I did notice, you know, because in the 90s, 2000s, it was kind of just like straight bar riffs, you know, just
yeah.
yeah. And then when it started getting to like the Treyus and you know, you
Mhm.
get all these other bands like what we're just talking Misery Signals, Kill Switch Engage. That's where it started getting more technical, and
Right.
I really enjoyed that part of it. But do you like the slam dancing or do you like the old school mosh where you're just pushing each other? What's
Oh,
your preference?
uh, I definitely prefer the actual like hardcore dancing.
Oh man, were you? How old are you?
I'm 36.
Okay, so you probably yeah. Were you
I, I
when you were going to the scene? That was the thing, right?
well, I lived in both worlds because, like I said, you know, coming up in death metal, like it's all push moshing and
Oh
stuff,
yeah, okay,
and
I
like
got you.
I was totally into that, and I loved it at the time. So I think for me, it's just contextual. Like if I'm at you know, gosh, I don't even know. It's been so long. But if I'm at like a Cannibal Corpse show and somebody's hardcore dancing, they're gonna get knocked out. Like that's just like not the vibe. Like you got to kind of like you got to respect the room.
Yeah,
and kind of be with everybody else. But because when I was playing in metal bands, the dudes that were hardcore dancing were like, "Get out of here! Like, what are you doing? Like, this
that was me.
this
Like,
is
what do you?
this
It
is
looks
not
like a
the
bunch.
deal." But then when I started like going and seeing bands like The Ghost Inside and you know
Yeah,
Terror and Kublai Khan and stuff, where like kids are actually like doing it, and it's a little more aggressive and not just kids throwing a fit. But I was like, oh, okay, like it fits the vibe of this more than just pushing each other around. And um, I don't think I'm necessarily super good at it. Like I never had the like super good coordination for it. But like if you see a dude that's like rocking a two step in the pit and he's really good at it, you're like, nice. Like
no, I
hell yeah.
no, I don't, and I'm not saying it in a like disrespectful way. It's just like when it first came out, because
Yeah.
when I was growing up, that was all there was just like that big pit, right? Just fucking each
Hmm.
other up. When
Yep.
you fall down, you pick each other up. You know, you're not
Hmm.
an asshole about it.
Yep.
And then slam dancing started, and I was just like, "What is this shit?" Because it was like my developmental years, that, like already like were over, and I was like already 18, and I was like, "What is this shit?"
Yeah.
And I think I went to like As Lay Dying, Killswitch, a Gay, Black Dahlia Murder show,
Yep.
and As Lay Dying and Killswitch, everybody's doing that, and then when Black Dahlia Murder came out, everybody's like, "Hey, get that fucking that
Yeah.
gay
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
out of here," because that's the way they were, at the time the feeling.
Right.
But the only thing I don't like is little by little they were just getting more and more like they're just punching people now. Like they're just going up in the side and
Yeah.
bah, and I'm like, okay, bro, now you're fighting. Like I'm gonna fight back, you know, like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit there and just get punched in the face and be like, hey bro, rock on, you know, like no, like what is this?
Well, and there's etiquette to it, like when somebody falls down in a circle pit or something, you pick them up and stuff like that. And there are definitely people that adhere to it, and there are people that don't. And even back in like 2015, going to shows, there'd be a dude that was just crowd killing everybody, and eventually somebody bigger than them would be like, "Yeah, dude, you're done. Like, I'm gonna come just put you in a sleeper hold, and you're gonna come over here now." Um,
Exactly. Yeah, and you're correct. I there's always just there's some asshole that has to kill it, you know, and
yeah,
like they're just purposely going in every crowd and back kicking everybody, and it's like, bro, you're just trying to hurt people at this point.
yeah,
Like, what are
for
you
sure.
doing? I still, you know, the music's always been great in metal. I always found a home in the metal scene for sure, and yeah, I just I don't know. I hope it continues to keep going the way it's going right now because I feel like there's some pretty good stuff coming out right now.
Yeah.
What are some major bands that you're listening to at the moment right now?
Oh gosh.
Like newer? Do you have any?
Yeah, newer. Gosh, President has been one of my favorite like newer things that's come out. I mean, I love Sleep Token. Oh
Yeah, Sleep
gosh,
Token's good, man. I like Sleep Token too.
there's so much that like even though it's like a little trendy, like I'm still super into it. Um, I just started jamming the new North Lane song they just put out. Um, New Inner Shikari was great. I mean, they're not a new band, but they
Yeah,
just put out a
music.
new deal. What else? New Koyo record. I really like them. New Era. Uh, and like I've been on a Trophy Eyes binge for the last like 2 years. I can't get enough of that band.
Who would be your dream like tour if you could tour with any band? Like just
Mm.
pick two bands. Like who would be the ones that you were like those are the two bands I would love to do like a tour with or even play a show with.
Oh gosh. Well, before Misery Signals called it quits, it would have been them. But
You can throw them in there. Yeah, Misery Signals.
yeah, and like that would be a dream. I'd love to play with Counterparts. Love to play with Beings in Ocean, which they're coming back. They just put out a song and are doing a tour right now, or gearing up for a tour right now. Um, mm, if Casey came and did a U.S. run again, I would love to play with them. Gosh, they're just it's easier to say all of them than
Just any.
than just to pick a couple. Arm's Length is one that I'd really like to play with. I just saw them in Dallas last week, actually.
Oh, nice.
Uh, and that was really cool because they're more on the emo side, but like they've cited like counterparts and other melodic hardcore bands as influences and stuff. So they have moments where they kind of throw down a little bit, even though they're doing the emo thing.
Dude, emo's huge right now. Like
It
with
is,
amongst
yeah.
the youngsters, man, they love that shit. And
Yeah.
what would you say for people starting out? What's one of the most difficult things about like being in a band, starting a band in this era that you would say?
Um, I think that if you were starting a band now, things that I find challenging wouldn't be issues like, I look at the way people, listen to music now and the fact that albums don't really matter like they used to, and like that's a bummer for me. But that's not going to be a hang up for a kid that's starting a new band that's just going to write songs and put them out. And um, I think the hardest thing these days is going to be finding people that are motivated um, to want to put in the work to like be good at something. Because man, a lot of people like they say they want to be in a band, but they don't really want to be in a band once they find out like what it actually takes to make it happen. And it doesn't just happen overnight, and it doesn't just kind of come together. Like you got to really want to do it, and you got to find guys that are like-minded that also really want to do it because you know, we talk about it all the time. It's like it's 10% that moment that you love and the reason why you do it, and then it's 90% getting prepared for the 10%. And sometimes that 90% just sucks. And if the 10% isn't worth it to you, it's going to fall apart. Um,
Yeah, it's a job, man. Like it's a
yeah.
job, and I feel the same way with just what I do now with this, and everybody's just like, oh man, that's easy. You just turn on the camera and talk on the fucking mic, and it's like, oh, it's a lot more than
No.
that. It's a lot more than
Yeah.
that. But it's also trying to find the people that are willing to put in the work, and that's 100%. And anything, a lot of people have lacking motivation, man, or especially nowadays. I feel like when we're growing up, what do we have? Like cribs that made us a little envious. Like, oh man, that's a nice house. But we kind of just saw the people around us, like, and
Yeah.
everybody was the same. And nowadays, you're looking at like people spending so much money online and doing stupid shit, and everybody's just, oh, I want to be like that, but I don't want to do anything for it. And it's like, yeah, it's not how life works, bro.
And trying to figure out like what's the internet smoke and mirrors, like how much of it is actually real and realistic to try and get at. Because like, that's definitely a thing that we've said before is like, when we're doing stuff online, and I hate the word content, but it just is what it is. But, if we're doing content or something, we don't want to look like we don't know what we're doing or that we're a new band or like, we want somebody to watch a video that we do or listen to a song and go like, oh, wow, like this is a real thing. Like, because if we're not taking it seriously, how could I expect somebody else to take it seriously?
Yeah, and I think in today's world, if you're a band, you're gonna have to do some content, man.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of like people our age just have a negative connotation towards it because we just see those idiots that are doing stupid shit, and they're like, I'm a content creator, and they're like rage baiting,
Hmm.
and but it's like content's just anything that you're doing that you're creating something, it shouldn't have that. I'm the same way. Like if somebody told me, oh, you're a content creator, and like. Ugh.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no. You're an influencer, like no. Then, but it's because for us, we just have that what we see, what they've talked about, what content is, and what a creator and what influencers are, and you're just like, I don't want to be lumped in with those people, like.
Right.
So I do understand it, but I think like yeah, as a band, you're gonna have to create like some and kind of hey, we're going live or whatever, and get people on board and listen
Yeah.
to your stuff because you got to promote yourself, right? And that's with
Right.
anything going on. But that's really cool that y'all are doing that. Yeah, are y'all doing like just funny content or just more like a Q&A or what are y'all doing? Or just
You know,
promotions?
so on Instagram, I think we take more of the approach of kind of just not necessarily informative, but like it's more straight to the point. It's like it's the song with the video or like a live video that we've done. We have an awesome friend. Her name's Alex that does photo and video for us live, and she throws together these little video edits with and then puts one of our songs over it. that we can do for reels and for TikToks and stuff. And she makes it look insane. She makes us look way cooler than we are. And so we do those a lot, and those get a lot of traction on Instagram. TikTok, went, I mean, that was just kind of throwing stuff at the wall to see what worked. And then I started doing these outfit, fit check things. And
Mm.
just like, if you like my outfit, you got to listen to my band. And it was kind of a joke, but also kind of not.
Yeah.
And that ended up really, really working well. And so I just rode that train until I felt like it wasn't doing anything for us anymore. But I mean, that got us from 150 followers to I don't know, close to 2,000 followers just doing that. And it was just
Mm.
because people thought it was cool and were like, oh, the new music actually is kind of rad. Um, so I don't know that it's ever any one specific thing. I don't think that I don't think our identity as a band is super funny. I think we're fun to be around, but our personalities aren't necessarily translating that unless you know us and are hanging out with us in person. So from a content standpoint, I know that for the first record, I wanted everything to feel a little more larger than life and cinematic, and be really intentional about that. With the new stuff that we've been doing, I've kind of wanted to scale it back and make it a little more personal and more approachable. But some of it is just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and
Yeah.
just kind
Same.
of, if it works, I keep doing it. And if it doesn't work, then I go, oh no, that didn't work. So I'm not going to make the video like that again.
Trial and error, baby. Trial and error.
Yes.
But no, I definitely feel that. And before I let you go,
Yeah.
what are some what software do you use? What's a good software for bands that are coming up? I don't know if you use software to record or
Yeah.
synthesize that. What's a good one that you would recommend for a lot of kids coming up?
So, I mean, at the end of the day, dude, some of the things that kids are able to do with even basic Reaper's free, um, and it's great. I used Studio One for a really long time, and then my laptop crashed that I had that on, and so when I got a replacement, I got a MacBook Air that doesn't have a lot of memory on it, so I got a Universal Audio, uh, the Apollo Solo. And I like that a lot because I didn't need a super expensive laptop because it runs all of the DSP and everything for the plugins and everything on the hardware. So I'm not taking up space on the computer.
Oh,
So now
nice.
I'm using Luna, which is their DAW, and I like it fine. Sometimes I miss Studio One because of how easy it was, and it was probably the most user friendly and intuitive for me personally. But Luna works fine. I'm just demoing stuff. I'm not an engineer by any stretch of the imagination. I just want to be able to know how to record and put a riff down and chop it up and do what I need to and program drums, and then send it to somebody that actually knows what they're doing. Or just do the demos here, and then our buddy Dave up in Virginia has done all of our production and stuff. So the new record, we did half of it here and then half of it up there in Virginia with him.
Yeah, but I think that's what most people want to know as well, because nobody's starting off with. I mean, not most people are not going to start off with the best of the best. So that's
No,
pretty cool.
no.
I mean, just some kind of insight on what's helped you out, and
Yeah.
because I mean, I feel like your music's come out really good. Do you think AI is going to eventually do some shit with the metal, fuck it up somehow, or do you see that happening?
I'm torn. It's every morning I open my phone to a fresh hell of some way or another. Uh, Although it worries me, I've started to see a lot of people talking about how it might have kind of blossomed and bloomed and is kind of coming back into a more manageable space. I think AI is great for data consolidation and doing I know some photographers that I'm friends with use it for the the BS editing stuff that nobody really wants to do, that just pull all the ums out of something and do that. And I was like, that's awesome. If it's just like building something from the ground up that's using uh, the talent and work of other people that existed, like I think that's kind of crap. But I don't think that people will in the long term accept it, because I think it's going to start eating itself and not have enough creativity to where it'll be able to create something that has the imperfections that I think we really psychologically kind of crave in music.
Yeah, and art and everything, man. When you think about it, because I agree with you. I think it's a good tool for
Mhm.
like just time consuming work that can knock it out in a minute, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like get all this shit and like put it get it done and boom. And but a lot of people are using it for their personality or their creativity, and it's
Yeah,
like
no.
I've even seen like one person did an AI like a rapper or something, and he made a shitload of money off of it, and it's just all AI, completely AI.
Oh,
And it's like, oh my god. But yeah, I agree. But it does get weird, like what you just said. You wake up and you're like, is that a real fucking video or is that real? And you just start
yeah,
questioning, and then it gets to the point where we're like at the age where you don't believe shit anymore. You know, you're just like,
yeah.
I don't know what's real anymore. You know, I can't tell. AI's gotten a lot better with a lot of videos, and I'm like, damn, did he say that? And then I'll look it up, and it's like, it was AI. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker, you got
Which
me
is
again.
crazy. It's crazy too, because like my Gen Z friends like will be like, "Oh yeah, that's clearly AI," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's obviously AI, and I know that. But please explain why that should be so obvious to me." And they're like,
No,
"Dude, come
I
on."
feel you. I feel you because the kids know right away, and they'll tell me,
Yeah.
like, "Sir, that's AI," or like somebody will tell me, like, when I remember I posted something one time, and they're like, "Oh, oh, it was a history thing," because I love history. I'm a history buff. I used to
Yeah.
teach history, and
Mhm.
it was like a history thing, but that the information was accurate because I watched it before I posted it. But
Right.
I was thinking, oh shit, they have like this, it's the video of it, and then somebody goes, "Oh, that's an AI video," and I said, "Well, the information's correct," but I was like,
Yeah.
I did not know that. Like, 'cause you don't even know what to believe, and yeah, they notice it right away. They're like, "Oh yeah, look at it, that's AI." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude!" Like, I don't know, I'm not used to this shit. That's ain't my stuff. But yeah, definitely, it is interesting times with the AI and everything, and like you said, just glop. It's just a bunch of shit like just spamming you all the time. But I will go ahead and let you go since we're getting to that point. But I really
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time. Where can people find you? And what? And you had that one concert coming up. What was it again? Moon what?
Moonfest. So yeah, Moonfest at Club Dada in Dallas. If you're in the area, or if you're not in the area, you should come out. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of bands. I think it's starting at like 3 in the afternoon, going
Nice.
until probably like 10:30, 11. Um,
And what's the
that's
date
gonna
on that?
that is May 30th.
Oh, okay, May 30th. All right.
So it's a Saturday in Deep Ellum. Um, so that'll be really cool. And gosh, what else? Um,
I will
yeah,
definitely tag your Spotify and your other stuff
yeah,
on there
yeah,
too.
yeah. Just
Um,
all the usual socials. We're pretty much everywhere that you would expect us to be. Um, but yeah, we try and
well,
make it easy to find.
yeah. I mean, y'all did an Instagram and all that. I put all that on there, and I'll tag you on those videos. And definitely, man, I hope you come down to San Antonio again. I would love to see y'all live. Hopefully you get to see y'all out here. And if you ever come out here, let me know. We'll fucking buy you drinks, and
Oh yeah.
we'll be on us. We'll get y'all and your boys a couple drinks and have some fun and go from there.
Oh,
But
that's awesome.
yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate the time. Any last things?
No, man. I just appreciate the invite, and it's been fun talking.
Yeah, man, for sure, brother. Just keep in touch. Let me know anything, and we'll definitely, hopefully, we'll meet up soon in your neck of the woods or mine, and have some beers together.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, Set Adrift, man, go check them out. They have some really good shit. I know you won't be disappointed. But thank you, Trey. I'll see you later. Have a good one.